we've got a long and winding road of drama going on right now. I'm going to give you a quick, hopefully 20-second catch up to where we are right now. But basically, XQC was supposed to go to this big streamer event, didn't go. While this was going on, some guy named E-Rob got banned for saying that he was going to beat up somebody while he was there, but it was joking, right? He was just joking with one of his fans, and he ended up getting banned 30 days for it. And while that went on, XQC decided to have an argument with his ex-girlfriend live on stream over Discord. And then a big drama came along, which is where we are right now. This guy named Slicker has decided that he was going to take over $300,000 from fans and friends. He's claimed that he needed it, but it was all for gambling. Just listen to this clip where he asked for money.
Baby, I hope you don't hate me on this. It's so cringe, and I'm cringe for asking my brother. Please do not hate me. Please, keep it personal as well. Basically, my bank account got locked. This has happened for like 3-4 days. I've been asking around people. Sadly, today, well, tomorrow is the last day, until my credit starts getting fucked up. It got locked out, and I was looking for people that actually work, and that I could ask if I could borrow from, and I'll pay back. Genuinely, give me 2 months and I can pay back. If you can't, no worries, my brother. If you can.
Is it just me, or does he have like a similar cadence to the Tinder Swindler?
I give you advice. Choose it.
You disappearing, nobody can see your messages. I'm not your enemy, I'm not fighting with you.
And you will get the worst enemy you have ever seen in your life. For you and for your family. If you will ever play with me, give it today.
Like, their accents are completely different. I'm sure they're from like completely different parts of the earth, but they just sound so similar because of the way that they're both lying. I don't know. Let me know if that's just a me thing or if you're hearing it too. You know, as this drama unfolded, something that really caught my eye was this guy who said giving money to Slicker was going to ruin his entire life. He didn't know what to do about his future, and if he gets to class, like, even if he gets in, he's going to have to worry about how his family is going to treat him as a complete disappointment, and they're not going to care for him anymore because of this. There's Discord messages between them. I'll link the RGRFC video that I got the Discord messages from, just so you can go look for them yourself, because that's not really the point I really want to talk about. What I want to talk about is, like, hey, it's not good for you to ask for all this money from all these people, get over 300,000 of it, and then be like, okay, now I'm gonna gamble it all the way. Like, that's the goal here. It's just to keep gambling and gambling and gambling. And in and of itself, gambling isn't like bad. But when you do stuff like this is the bad aspects of gambling. People being so waist deep in it that they just can't get out. And then they do stuff like this. Like, this is Sky Williams type numbers, owing hundreds of thousands to people you know. I don't understand how you even let yourself get into that kind of debt. It's wild. But this drama managed to branch off into another drama, a co-drama, if you will. And there's this guy named CrazySlick, who's not Slicker, who got accused of a lot of stuff. And it all started with an argument between Mizkif and Trainwreck. If we're going to deplatform people for scamming others, shouldn't we have banned you for Joltcoin a few years back? Are you going to send Maya and Mitch to railroad and blackmail me like you did those girls to cover up all those essays, you scumbag piece of crap? You want to come at me and make stuff up? Then you better be sure you don't live in a glass house. Now, ClearSlick came out and was like, none of this stuff was true. I only touched her hands and wrists. I was just checking her pulse, which is weird. I don't know why you would be checking someone's pulse at a party. That's just so weird to be checking someone's pulse. But the girl that we know of for sure that's accusing him is named Adrianah Lee. And she went on Destiny's stream to talk about what was going on. She also went on Hasan's stream. And I just wanted to talk about what she said. So let's get into it.
The shit are going to run with it regardless. But what happened?
In regards to everything?
Yeah.
Long story short, I'll try to do the same thing I did on the other streams. January 2020, I was at a party, fell asleep, got touched by CrazySlick. He was, quote, checking my pulse by touching my neck and chest area and trying to feel my heartbeat. And if anyone knows anatomy of a woman, your heart is on your boob. So then there's multiple people in the room, but 2 of them were my good friends, and they said, please get away from her. You don't need to do that. He left the room, came back multiple times, had to be told not to touch me multiple times.
So that's the full allegation. No, she does have more to say, but before we get into that, I just want to say that I'm seeing a lot of people just blindly believe her, like, right off the bat without even thinking about it, just being like, oh, okay, she must be telling the truth. And that's something that I really just can't agree with. You have to wait for all the facts, okay? I'm not saying that she's lying or that she's telling the truth, and I'm careful to not say that in anything that I make, because that would be wrong. I'm not here to talk about, oh, this person is guilty, this person isn't, blah, 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 blah. That's not what I do. What I do is talk about what I think and what the situation is, and then give an opinion on that. That's it. But I would never say, hey, this person's guilty, this person isn't guilty.
And as I was doing my makeup, Barry, Maya, and Mitch walk in. I walk downstairs. They're like, so what happened? Like, let's do something about it. And I was like, well, I was just going to write the Twitlonger with Kyle, the person that was there. Like, I don't really see why you guys need to be here. And then from there, obviously, I was, if we say something, we're going to have to kick Slick out. And I was like, okay. And it's like, well, if you do say something, just know, like, people are they're going to come after you.
So this is what is being referred to as a cover-up. It's really, really not. Like, I guess you could say that they were, like, trying to, like, change the situation and how it was being framed for the public, but it definitely wasn't a cover-up. They didn't go to her and say, hey, you can't talk about this. And we're going to see later on that they do let her talk about it. And they let her say what was going on. And they proofreaded what she said. I'm getting ahead of myself, but basically, to call this a cover-up is just a gross overstatement. Like, come on now. Really? A cover-up? Nah. Acting like there was some sort of covert ops to get CrazySlick to have a good reputation or something.
I was like, okay, well, like, I'm still going to be true to myself, you know?
Yeah.
And we wrote the thing together, like, she was there while we were writing it. And she proofread it, and we changed some of the vocabulary to make it less harsh on Slick. In hopes, because she promised me, she is not just her responsibility, it's obviously Miz, because Miz sent her. And I found out later that Miz sent, quote, one of the more reputable girls of Twitch.
So it's not her fault because someone told her to do it? What? Huh? This isn't how things work. This isn't how the world works. You can't just be like, oh, well, you know, Mizkif sent her, so no culpability. And people are acting like, oh, Maya was completely, you know, she was doing everything that was right. She was just caught up in a bad situation, and Mizkif knew everything. I haven't seen any proof of that. No one's tried to or been able to produce any proof of that. If someone has proof of Mizkif deciding, okay, like, we have to cover this up, then whatever. Also, I completely forgot to mention this, but what was Trainwreck doing? Like, why did it take him so long to come out with a cover-up of assault? Just to use it as, oh, you want to talk? I know you ain't laughing. Like, that type of comeback. Like, this isn't information that you just whip out as like a trump card. Like, this is something that you hear about and you immediately report. No second thoughts. You just say, oh, okay, boom, it's out now. People know about it. That's what he should have done for sure. Now, another girl came out and said that he sent her a pee-pee pic when she didn't want one, and only talked to her when he wanted to get some, and then never talked to her otherwise. Clearly not as serious. Like, okay. And that was the only one I could really find after scrolling for a little bit. like, I guess this is the girls that Trainwreck was talking about, girls plural, like, and there's no evidence of a Coverup here, which is weird. Now, Mizkif did catch a couple strays from all of this. A video dropped of him using like a ton of slurs in Twitter DMs with Ice Poseidon, and I gotta say again, people just are sitting on this stuff, and I'm not defending Mizkif because I wouldn't say that all this was quite a cover up, but it was still like kind of scummy, and it was covering for a dude that didn't need to get covered. Because honestly, if this thing had just dropped on its own, then I doubt too many people would have cared. But because of the way that it all manifested itself, it was just pretty much bound to blow up. And now it's pretty much the biggest story on the internet. So, really good example of this dry sand right there. Now, to end all this off, I want to show one last thing, which is Twitch deciding that they were going to be, for the most part, banning gambling streams for, so I guess silver lining, if that's something you wanted. I'm really more so for personal choice of people, but like, kids can't gamble for a reason. You have to have proof of ID to get any sort of payment. So nobody's gonna, unless they like sneak their parents' ID, nobody's gonna be able to like gamble or be influenced to gamble because of these streams. I really think that it's a waste of time, but that's just my opinion. I'm gonna end it off here. Thank you all for watching. Goodbye.